Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to never miss a video from Fever FM.
Farhan, first of all, thank you so much for joining me on Fever FM. My name is Glenn. I host the breakfast show on Fever FM. It's an honor to be chatting with you. I'll tell you why, because I fanboy every time a film of yours is out. First of all, congratulations on a smasher of a trailer. I think बहुत ही brilliant trailer.
Thank you so much.
फरहान, मैंने इस फिल्म में देखा है कि आपकी ना ट्रिपल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस हो रहे हैं यहाँ पे, तीन अलग-अलग रूप देखने मिल रहे हैं यहाँ पर. So let's start off with the whole transformation bit, the physical transformation. Thoda, can you take us through the journey?
Wow. Yeah, so you're right. I mean, there are three very distinct looks in the film. There's one where I'm like really lean, which is roughly about maybe 70 or 71 kgs.
Right.
Then there's a second look, which is a more beefed up, muscular look, which is roughly at about 75 kgs. And then there is a kind of an out of shape, for the lack of another word, I mean, slightly like out of shape and obese or fat, at least as far as a juice.
Lockdown look.
Huh? The lockdown look. Yeah. Or somebody, when I was putting all that weight on, my daughter, my kid finally told me that, oh, what is this, dad bod?
like a literal dad bod, actually. But
dad bod. That was going on. So that was about 86 kg. So that was the whole thing. It was going up from 70 to from a low of 70 to up to 86.
But Farhan, मैं personally मानता हूँ जब आप ये body transformations करते हैं, mentally भी बहुत ज़्यादा changes आते हैं आपकी life में. You keep changing from the person that you were to what you've become.
Absolutely.
I feel personally you have been this Toofan in the film industry who's always given something very offbeat. I'd rather say something that is very unique to watch. Like I remember this when 𝐷 𝐶𝐻𝐿 𝐴 first came out. My mom's a teacher and the school gifted them the film actually to go and watch it in the theater. So mom comes back home and mom comes back home and I think I was in the 6th grade or something and she's like, Glenn, you know, we saw this movie 𝐷 𝐶𝐻𝐿 𝐴 and I just felt like I still remember those words. She's like, it was so different. It was Aamir and Saif and all of these guys. Akshay was so. It was not a Hindi film I saw, and for the first time I saw men with great haircuts. I remember this line. That's what mom said. So I think it was such a revolution. Aapne wo film ka, I think,
what school was this?
So my school was Our Lady of Perpetual Saga High School.
And she was a teacher there?
She's a teacher, still a teacher. She's retiring this year. And mom was like, this film completely changed my perspective of cinema because she grew up in a very liberal household with chill, you know, everything was relaxed. Like, wow, I can see my life right now on the screen.
How nice. How nice. So wow. Achha, please give her my regards. And I'm very impressed that the school gave them like whether the tickets or time off to go and watch the film. That's really sweet.
Because it was teachers.
But yeah, thank you. That's really kind of you and very, very kind of her.
Yeah, I think it was around Teachers Day जब ये हुआ था. So that's why I said you brought a Toofan in the industry because even Luck by Chance मेरे हिसाब से was ahead of its time. I felt, and by the way, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara finishes 11 years like this week.
10 years. 10 years
this week. And what a fantastic journey. Even Toofan, I think Rakesh Prakash Mehra ji also said this about you. He says, you don't play the character, आप वो character बन जाते हैं. और मेरे हिसाब से जब भी आप कोई character play करते हैं, you become bigger than the character, bigger than the film. This is my personal opinion. Need not be the by all and end all. But how do you immerse yourself as an artist so much into the character? You make me believe at no point I feel that you're hamming it or at no point I feel that you're not true to the character. What is आपका mental process क्या होता है ऐसे intense characters के लिए?
I mean, I think to start with, what's crucial is choosing the part, because it honestly, I mean, it sounds very deep and it sounds very philosophical, but there is some truth to it, which is that there is 50% that you choose the part and 50% the part chooses you. That's honestly what happens. When you hear something, it is speaking to you, you're understanding the voice, you're understanding the inner workings of the character, which is why you connect to it. And then so 50% of the work is done by the writer and the person who's conceptualized the character. 50% of the work is done there. and then you take it from there. It's like when the baton is passed for the last time in the relay race.
Right.
Like I think the actor is the last one to get it, who has to run that last 100 meters.
Right.
So that's kind of what it's like. And you just get inspired by the story, you get inspired by the film. And I personally feel that if any actor is going to take on any role, and this is without judgment, because different people have different sensibilities of what kind of movies they would like to do and be part of. But whatever role you take on, I think it is absolutely important, because that is the job, which is to completely immerse yourself in it. If you're going to take something on and just do it because it's a great project to be a part of, or someone's directing it, so that's really exciting, or I'll get to work with so and so person, those are all bonuses. But the real reason to do a film should always be, man, if I say no to this role, I'm going to really, really regret it.
Wow.
And so that's really where for me, if that feeling doesn't happen, then I'd much rather say no. Because once you get into it, you want to give it. The thing is that how does something become tangible for the audience? How does an experience become real for the audience? The experience cannot be real for the audience if the experience is not real for the person who's playing it on screen.
If you don't believe it, the audience won't.
Yeah. So if I'm only doing it in half measures and in half commitment and with some sort of belief that chalo, edit sambhal lega ya background music mein sambhal jayega, then the purpose of the whole experience is defeated.
Abs are there.
Yeah, but it defeats the purpose then. So for me, how the audience feels when they see a film, because all of us, our love for movies has started as an audience only.
Right.
We weren't all born with knowledge of how to act or how to write or how to direct. We fell in love with movies, and the reason we fell in love with them was because we could recognize what was really good on screen.
आपने बहुत एक इंटरेस्टिंग बात बोली है about how you have to be completely immersed in your character. मुझे लगता है आप बड़े फिल्मी बच्चे थे. आपने एक बार अपनी सिस्टर को गलती से पंच भी किया था उसी जोन में रह के. आज आप छोटे थे तभी, ऐसा एक किस्सा हुआ था आपके साथ.
और बहुत सालों तक मैं उस बात और उस घटना को भूल जाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन लोग मुझे याद दिलाते रहते.
तो हुआ क्या?
And I'd seen some action movie. I was very excited walking around the house, imagining that there are henchmen and villains around every corner. And I turned some corner, I opened a door, and I was just, in my imagination, there was somebody there. And I was going to punch them as I walked in. And as I opened the door, Zoya unfortunately was walking out of the room. And that the eagle had flown, as they say. the punch had left. So I couldn't really stop it. And so it was an accident, of course. But an unfortunate one. So, yeah.
But Farhan, film mein, there were no accidents. They were real punches that you were taking. Because I think I heard Daryl speak about the fact that we taught Farhan to take punches and not fake punches. So
yeah,
you mean actual blows on your face? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the thing is that you're not aiming for hitting, for anyone to hit me on my face or for me to hit any other boxer on their face.
Right.
So there are techniques of how you can take a punch as close to your face as possible.
Right.
And it looks, and it is a punch. You can feel it. There is an impact of it, but it's not going to damage you in any kind of way, unless you make a mistake. Unless you forget choreography and your head is not in a place where it's meant to be. Right. Or the person who's throwing the punch forgets the choreography and throws the punch where it's not meant to be going.
Wow.
Which also did happen, at times, like once in a while you make a mistake or someone else would make a mistake and there would be a real punch here and a real punch there. All the, every single body blow that you see, every single body blow is an absolutely real 100% all out body blow. There's no holding back in it.
Wow.
We conditioned ourselves for it. We trained for it so that, because the thing is when you hit, because boxing, you get so up close with the fighters that when you get hit on your body, when you get hit on your arm, there's one thing of you reacting and falling back or doing whatever, but there's a certain tremor that goes through your body.
Yeah.
There's a vibration that goes through your body, and how do you fake that? You can't fake it.
Right. You can't fake that.
You know? You can't fake it. I mean, that can only happen if somebody hits you. So we were completely prepared and ready mentally and physically to take as many blows as needed to be taken on the body and on the face. Like I said, there were clear instructions of how and when to hit, so that I mean the impact would be absolutely to the minimum, the effect would be absolutely to the maximum.
Wow.
You know, and of course, and then within that, I mean, once in a while, I mean, I got hit once in a while. I accidentally hit someone, but Daryl absolutely prepared us all for what was to come.
I feel any kind of action movie or any kind of pent up aggression also requires good music. I feel when you're listening to good music, you're charged up. You're in the zone. You're in the mood. Your international influences, आपके लिए कौन थे वो international musicians? Because 70s, 80s, 90s was a great time for great pop music, rock and roll.
Yeah.
Who was it for you?
Wow. Where do I start with this here? You know, the thing is, there's such a long list of musicians. And even, I mean, 80s was, I mean, apart from, of course, the great bands and the great rock acts and stuff, it was also an unbelievable time for the one-hit wonders. You know, was the
Take
80s.
On Me, Aha.
No, I mean, Aha still had more. Aha still had more songs, yeah, but there were many other bands, I mean, whose unfortunate names I might not remember now. But there's so many bands that you just remember one song, you know, of that band.
Informer? No.
Informer is 90s. आपका generation मेरे एक generation के बाद है, मैं क्या कहूँ. But yeah, so but in terms of like while I was training for this, an album that I listened to very often was Appetite for Destruction, the Guns N' Roses debut album, which released I think in '87 if I'm not mistaken. So that was something that I would listen to a lot when I was training, and then because I was listening to it while I was training, when we got into shooting the action sequences, whenever I had like a little bit of time to myself when they were setting something else up, I just put my headphones on and keep listening to that album, and it would just keep me in the zone. You know, so that's the album that kind of saw me, that at least kept me there.
Interesting. You know, you're also known as the Heartbreak Kid, right? Because the poetry that you did in Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara is now played as Instagram reels for every pensive situation. So anybody who travels anywhere next to an ocean or next to a mountain has to play the ZNMD poetry. And I'm like, कर क्या रहा है तू? हाँ? वो फरहान अख्तर ने बोला था, वो feel अलग थी, वो feel करता है. तुम क्या कर रहा है?
That is the amazing power, firstly, of movies. That's the amazing power of good writing. I mean, those poems written by my father. You know, it is so incredible that when that film was being written and when those poems were conceived and were being put in the film, obviously we wanted those poems there. There's no two ways about it. Imran is a poet. He's going to write poetry. But there always was a question mark, not in a bad way, you know, in an kind of in an excited way and in a curious way, as to how will a young generation who's not so connected with Urdu, you know, take to these poems. And it's incredible to see like how we inherently, I think, just in our DNA, have an attachment to this stuff.
I agree.
You know, and like you say, I mean, like I see reels of people who are like 16 and 17, you know, who was 6 when the film was made, or 5 when the film when it released, you know, and they are like, you're like, absolutely, like you're saying, they're somewhere in some Viran location, and there is Dil Aakhir Tu Kyun Rota Hai playing at the back. And I find it absolutely amazing and very, very encouraging to see that this amazing connection that our people have with poetry, with this language, with the expression in this language. And I'm sure a lot of them must have learned new words.
Absolutely.
Those poems. So it's incredible.
Liberty, considering I have less than a minute with you, I'm going to take this liberty and ask you permission to just recreate one scene with you from ZNMD, because I'm a huge Hrithik Roshan fan. And I asked my mom to give me rimless glasses from Kaho Na Pyare because I pretended I couldn't see, because I'm a huge Hrithik fan. And I'm going to do this scene with you right now where Hrithik goes like, I mean, seriously, what is this? I mean, seriously, ye kya hai? I mean, मैं क्या कोई Japanese school girl हूँ? I mean, tell me to slap him, yeah. Tell me to slap him. And let me flare my nostrils. 1 second.
Moshi.
Tell me to slap him, yeah. I mean,
slap him.
Imran, मेरी girlfriend के साथ involved होना was not funny. I mean, happens.
Yeah. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's there.
जब तक यहाँ से ना निकले ना, तब तक sorry मत बोलना. You have no idea how your films have impacted my life. You have no idea in every situation how I've transformed into an Imran or into an Arjun. You have no idea. This is not a part of the interview. This is my heart speaking to you. So thank you for the cinema. Thank you for good.
Oh, thank you, Glenn. Thank
Really,
you so much.
I look forward to films like you. For at least for those 10-15 minutes or 3 hours, I'm vicariously living like you. I feel Toofan in me. Every time there's a shit show happening, I'm like, okay, terrace पे जाके थोड़ा सा ये kettlebell swing करूँगा, थोड़ा सा bench press करूँगा, things will be fine. Ajju bhai and Aziz Ali will be into me. I will do this. We'll pass through this.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much,
very
buddy.